My name's Chris Lang, I work for Attribution, and we've been working with Peninsula Enterprise, predominantly conducting customer satisfaction reviews for their business link services, and we've spoken to about 730 businesses over 2 waves, one in 2009 and one in 2010-11. It was quite a significant research programme, but in summary, the 4 main findings from it were that it's incredibly important to understand and manage people's expectations, then going on and matching that to what you're able to deliver and helping them to make the linkage between what's quite dry advice and information and actual tangible business benefit from them. And the final finding really was to try and understand those people that aren't going to make that journey and do it themselves and go and help motivate them. Of the businesses we spoke to, about 60% said they've seen a significant or notable business benefit from the service that they'd received from Business Link. Pleasingly, we've seen from wave 1 to wave 2 that there's been an increase in people saying that they've seen some benefit. That shows that after the first wave of results, Peninsula Enterprise and their business advisors have considered the feedback and changed the way that they deliver the service to their customers and see some improvement year on year. When we went on to ask them about what specific benefits they expected to receive, around about half of the customers said that they were looking for something very generic.
I contacted Business Link because I was looking for general support and advice.
We contacted Business Link with a general inquiry, referenced what sort of help and assistance was available, what sort of funding was available as well.
Of the group of customers that said that they'd received some benefit, we went on to say what was the benefit they'd seen. Around half of them that we spoke to had actually seen a very tangible business benefit. So either increasing the business performance, looking at ways of saving money or doing things smarter in the future.
We're looking obviously to increase our productivity, our efficiency. Business Link have certainly helped us to examine that.
We've also asked them to rate the impact that they actually received. And within the first wave, we've seen that it trended much more towards very general themes, looking for different ways of accessing funding, very generic types of business advice and support.
The financial impact for the grant towards the international exhibition has been huge. That's taken us from being a small company with a fairly small turnover to hopefully a multi-million pound company, I would guess, within about 3 years.
When we repeated the study a year later, we noticed a trend towards very specific and measurable impact aspects and ways that they can actually do things that are going to save them time and money and increase profit within the business. The evidence points towards a very direct link between the way that the business advisors are doing their work now as opposed to 12 months ago to try and motivate people to take that advice forward.
They gave me very good advice. We had a thorough reorganisation of our health and safety policy. They also helped me with a new health and safety policy and also an environmental policy, which I needed, which I didn't realise at the time.
Of the businesses that we spoke to that said there was a benefit, around about half of them said that had they not contacted Business Link, there'd have been severe negative impact of not having done so.
If Business Link hadn't been there, I think in one particular year I'd have had a much stressier time because that was when I had someone I could just talk things through with.
Only about 20% said that their expectations weren't at least met when they contacted Business Link. And within that group, those customers that had been asked to or referred in to contact Business Link by a third party were much more likely to say that they were exceeded. This helps to show that through those third party referrals and actually understanding what Business Link do and making a recommendation, you're more likely to be able to achieve success with those businesses.
We approached them to assist us with funding for a specific piece of work, but they looked at other bits and pieces of our business as well as that piece of work. So yeah, I think that they well exceeded my expectations.
One of the key findings of the research was that when companies were referred on to a third-party company, they perceived that they'd received much more benefit. We surmised that the reason for this was that the Business Link advisor had actually taken the trouble to really understand what the requirement was and find a specialist that's providing the service that they actually required.
Referral on from Business Link was very helpful. It was about a rebranding exercise. It took several months for us to go through the process, but we did actually rebrand from that referral. So yeah, it was very helpful.
People responded in different ways to the advice that they received from Business Link. There's a clear cohort of people who recognised what Business Link did, how they provided the service and what they needed to do to get any benefit out of that. And there was a second group of people who needed a lot more motivation and cajoling in how to gain some benefit from the advice received. The first wave of the research helped business advisors to understand the difference between those two customer groups so that they could focus the service on how they could actually perform with those different groups to make sure that they're receiving the best that they could do.
Without the Evoke grant, and thinking through of the innovation, we wouldn't have the textile designs that we have today, which have been extremely useful. So those are two very specific benefits that we've had from Business Link.
Within the research, we were able to track a very clear performance improvement from the first wave to the second wave with those benefit levels because of that change in the way that they were doing things.